welcome to No Recipe Required, and today I got a special treat for you. We're going to do my version of the McDonald's Egg McMuffin, one of my all-time favorites. They just went all day breakfast at McDonald's for serving these Egg McMuffins, and there's a reason why. They're spectacular. Really easy to do. You can do them at home pretty darn simply. I'm going to show you two ways to do the egg. One way, the traditional, kind of in a ring. We're going to cook it on the stove. Then stick around at the end of the video. I'm going to show you another way to do it. A little bit simpler to do in the microwave. Easier if you don't want to fire up the stove. Both are excellent, and both you can do. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get going on our homemade McMuffin. Obviously, I've got a English muffin here. This is actually going to take the longest to cook, so we're going to go ahead and start it first. Take it, pop it into our toaster. Other ingredients, I got a nice slice of American cheese. Nice slice of Canadian bacon. Now, if you really want this perfectly round, then go ahead, buy a bigger piece of bacon, cut it out with a ring mold like this. An egg, I don't mind it like that, by the way. An egg and a little ring mold. Now, I've got some butter here. I'm going to butter the mold. Now, this is the way McDonald's actually does it, so I'm going to show you how they do it as well. I'm buttering the inside of the mold. We're going to fry the egg, but there's actually an easy way to microwave the egg as well. Go ahead and go to the end of the video and check out how I do that. Saves a little bit of time. I don't think the egg's quite as good, but it's certainly tasty. All right, muffin's going. Let's go ahead and cook our egg. Okay, so we've got our egg. We've got our pan over kind of medium heat. We'll raise it just a touch. You don't want it scorching because we are going to try and cook that egg all the way through. A little bit of cooking spray. Our buttered, ring mold goes down on the pan, and we're going to crack our egg right inside that ring mold, and that's going to hold it steady. Now, if you want the egg whole, I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit here. If you want the egg whole, or the yolk whole, just leave it like that. If you don't, just go ahead and pop it with the shell or with a fork, and it will start running a little bit, which again is a little more McMuffin-like. And then the pan is heating up. I want it hot enough to boil some water. So I'm going to add a little bit of water in our pan, which is going to create steam. That's going to help cook the top of our egg. And to capture that steam, we just throw a lid on the pan. You can even throw a piece of aluminum foil on it. Let it simmer, and that egg is going to cook through in about 2 minutes. Okay, let's go ahead and check our egg. The way to see if it's done, you just kind of jiggle that pan a little bit. You make sure it's set. This one, I think, almost all the water's gone. If you need a little bit more, just add a touch more. This one needs, I think, about 30 more seconds. All right, so our egg is done. Now, I still have a little bit of water in that pan. If you do, you want to remove the water. So go ahead and just take like a paper towel, throw it on the side there. That's going to suck up all that extra moisture. And then we grab our handy spatula. I'm going to slide my egg over to a plate. And then this is our Canadian bacon. I'm just going to lay that down in the same pan. Let that go for 30 seconds or so. I think I just heard my toast pop. You want the ham to be nice and warm through. All right, let's go ahead. Put this all together. My toast is done. I'm going to go ahead. So I'm actually going to put mine up on a little bit of parchment paper here to give it a little bit of extra steam, which I think makes it a little more authentic, a little more tasty. You got the crunch of the toaster, and then the steaminess kind of cools everything down. Then we're going to go ahead. Our ring mold, we lift that up. You see our egg came out absolutely beautifully. But sorry, first we got to put the cheese down. Put the cheese down, then put the warm egg down, so that the egg melts the cheese. We didn't do any salt and pepper, so I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I've got our ham, Canadian bacon there. We're going to top it. Now again, you could go ahead and eat it right then. I like to go ahead and give mine a wrap and just let it sit for about a minute. All right, so we've waited about 2 minutes or so, and we got some gooey cheese there. You got to move quickly to get all the hot components on there to melt the cheese like that. Go ahead and toss that. But like I said, now you got crispy edges with that steamed pieces of it all in there. It is absolutely beautiful. I hope you enjoy this homemade Egg McMuffin. Alright guys, so you just saw me do the Egg McMuffin in the traditional way. Now we're going to do a non-traditional way. A little bit easier because it doesn't involve the stovetop, but you don't get that same quite egg look and feel. Got an egg in a bowl, a little bit of salt in there, and a little bit of water, call it about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. Whisk, and we're going to beat the heck out of this thing. Really get it integrated with the water. And once we do that, I'm going to microwave it in a little ramekin that is shaped like a like an Egg McMuffin, obviously a little round guy right here. But we got to loosen it up, or grease it up, I guess. A little butter. You could use cooking spray, you could use olive oil, but you want to be fairly generous so that the egg doesn't stick all around. Make sure you get the sides too, because those are prone to sticking. Okay, then we're going to dump our egg right in there. And again, you know, roughly English muffin size. This one's a little bit bigger. You could use like a coffee mug as well, almost anything round. Ideally, the smaller or the less tall the sides, the easier it's going to be to take out. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the microwave. We're going to start off for about a minute or so. It's going to get large and then shrink down. You're just looking for it to set all the way through. All right, so mine took about 45 seconds or so to get through. Now mine, even with all that butter, stuck a little bit on the side over here. But for the most part, it's pretty easy to take out. Go ahead and grab it here. You could go, you know, a few extra seconds if you want it really well done. Fewer if you don't. You can go ahead, take that, lay it right on top of your English muffin with your cheese, and you're good to go. A little bit easier to do it this way. Hope you enjoy the English muffin, and I'll see you next time. Alright guys, I hope you love my version of this Egg McMuffin. It's an absolute awesome sandwich. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Hey, especially if you got the hangover morning, this is the perfect cure. You know what? Another great option. Instead of frying the egg like this, you could poach it. I put a link up here to show you how to poach an egg. And frankly, while we're on the subject of sandwiches, another link to one of my favorites, a Cuban sandwich. You can make at home as well. One of my all-time favorites. Hope you try them. Hope you subscribe, and I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required.